Hi guys, and welcome to another driveway developments video. Today I'm trying out a new style of video which I'm simply calling my Explain series. In this series I'll be picking a subject that I'm often asked questions on, and I'll do my best to animate a video that explains it in terms that we can all understand. The topic today is the special kind of all-wheel drive system found in the Mitsubishi EVO. Now there are a few abbreviations you may have heard of, and they are S-AWC, AWC, ACD and AYC. Now hopefully in the next few minutes you'll know what these mean and how they affect the way a Mitsubishi EVO drives. I've recently bought an EVO 10 which is being fixed up on this YouTube channel, so check out those videos if you are interested. And since owning that EVO I have constantly found myself explaining to my friends what these abbreviations actually do and how they affect the car. And it's no surprise that I have to explain this because they're not typically things that you would find on your average car. Here we have a simple animation I've created showing the drivetrain of an EVO 10. So the first of these abbreviations is ACD. ACD stands for Active Center Differential, and the ACD will receive its power from the gearbox, which receives its power from the engine. Unlike most all-wheel drive cars, the ACD can actually control how much torque it wants to send to the front of the car or to the rear of the car. And this can help the car to correct understeer, oversteer, and generally it helps to send the power where it's needed. So let's say for example then that the car is going around a corner and due to say driver error, the car is beginning to understeer. The computer can detect this from wheel speed sensors, throttle input and steering wheel input, and it can actually do something about that and attempt to correct it. So what it will probably do is it will lock up a clutch pack in this active center differential, and it will send more torque to the rear. Now sending more torque to the rear will result in the car's back end stepping out a little because it's a bit more rear wheel drive bias than it was previously, and this will balance the handling while pushing the car around the corner. So that is basically what an active center differential does. And while it's definitely not a common feature on all-wheel drive cars, it's not unique to the EVO. A couple of the very high top models of the Subaru Impreza, such as the STI DCCD model, these also have an active center differential. Now something that is unique to the EVO and an Impreza could only dream of is our second abbreviation, and that is AYC. So what does AYC stand for? Well, AYC stands for Active Yaw Control. It's important to understand what Active Yaw Control is, but also what it isn't. AYC is not a type of brake vectoring, it is not a limited slip differential, and it is not a plated differential. It is, in my opinion, better than those because brake vectoring and limited slip differentials, they have limited capabilities. Now limited slip diffs and brake vectoring will mainly focus on limiting the slip of the unloaded wheel. And by limiting the slip to the unloaded wheel, it will keep a percentage of torque going to the loaded wheel, but the majority will always go to the unloaded wheel. So let's go back to the example of a car going into a corner and understeering. When the driver applies the throttle, the computer will lock up a clutch pack in the active center diff, and it will send additional torque to the rear diff, just as we spoke about. However, the active yaw control actually goes one step further. It will actually control how much power goes to the right and how much power goes to the left. In a similar way to the ACD, the AYC system will lock up a clutch pack on the right wheel and release some pressure on the inside wheel. And this will have the effect of sending more power to the outside wheel and physically pushing the car's yaw to where the driver wants it to be. And this is different to the limited slip differential installed on the front axle, because limited slip differentials, they will always send more power to the least loaded wheel. The AYC system, however, will actually reduce the power going to the unloaded wheel and divert it to the loaded wheel. And this is a much more efficient setup. This will minimize exceeding the grip limit of the inside tyre, while also being able to utilize the increased grip of the loaded outside tyre. And the result of all this engineering, much better corner exit traction, especially when you're pushing that throttle down to the floor. Now for our final two abbreviations, S-AWC and AWC. These abbreviations stand for Super All-Wheel Control and All-Wheel Control, and they basically help you to see what combination of active yaw control and ACD your car comes with. So I'm from the UK, and if I was ever to see a Mitsubishi EVO, whether an import or not, a Mitsubishi EVO 1 to 3 would come with all-wheel drive, and it would have no active center differential, no active yaw control. EVO's model 4 to 9, they come with active yaw control, which is what we would call AWC, is where they have a fixed center differential with AYC. And the EVO 10 comes with Super All-Wheel Control, which is what the name is given when it has ACD and AYC. Now if you are from the US, your EVO 8s and 9s, they're neutered really, and they don't have active yaw control, they just have a basic four-wheel drive system. And the EVO 10 is the only one in the US to come with an active center diff or active yaw control. It actually has both. So hopefully that has cleared something up for you. Hopefully I've been able to shed a bit of light on that. And if you have learned something from this video, please consider subscribing and also liking the video. And let me know in the comments what you'd like me to explain next, whether I was able to explain it well this time, and what your opinion was on this style of video.